Hey everybody, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Folks, we have some very big news coming out from the folks at Bloomberg, Eric Balchunas and James Seyffart. Many of you know they are ETF analysts at Bloomberg. So Eric Balchunas tweeted out, "Get ready for a potential altcoin ETF summer with Solana likely leading the way, as well as some basket products," via James Seyffart note this morning, which includes fresh odds for all the spot ETFs. So what are the odds that James put out? So for the basket/index ETFs, he has that at a 90% chance of approval in 2025, and that the final SEC deadline is July 2nd, 2025. So could we see the basket ETFs approved first before we get, these other altcoin ETFs? It's possible. We'll have to wait and see. But next up, as far as deadlines, is Litecoin. And this was filed by Canary, Grayscale, and CoinShares. And the deadline is October 2nd, 2025. He gives that a 90% chance of approval as well. Solana comes in as number 3 with an approval deadline of October 10th. And that is filed by all the big players: Grayscale, VanEck, 21 Shares, Canary, Bitwise, Franklin, and Fidelity, also at a 90% chance. Then coming in 4th is XRP, also filed by the big players: Grayscale, Bitwise, Canary, 21 Shares, WisdomTree, CoinShares, and Franklin Templeton. That has a deadline of October 17th, 2025, with an 85% chance of approval. At number 5 is Dogecoin, which was filed by Grayscale, Bitwise, 21 Shares, has a deadline of October 17th as well, and has an 80% chance of approval. And then it goes down the list to Cardano, Polkadot, HBAR, and much more. Those have 1 or 2 filers. But I think the top 5 here have the higher chance. We'll have to wait to see if Cardano, Polkadot, and HBAR get approved, because they don't have futures markets right now. We know the Solana and XRP futures markets went live recently, and I've been on record saying the SEC probably needs to see a good sample size of how that performs, but all the respective factors needed for the approval are there. So I think we should see some approvals possibly this summer, and my hope is it happens this summer versus later in the year. But one of the things we've been tracking here on the podcast is when we might see the blow off top. Can it be the end of Q2, going to July, or is that going to be a local top and then the bull market continues into Q3, Q4, where you have the ultimate blow off top? And could the SEC wait till then? And could this be a signal of the blow off top, right? These are the things I'm thinking about. And obviously we don't have a crystal ball, but we're going to look at what the SEC is doing. We're going to look at on-chain data, the macro, the charts, to get an idea of where the top zone is going to be. But nevertheless, we are going to, of course, take profits along the way up to make sure we walk away from this bull market with money in our pockets. But the odds are looking really good here for the approvals. Like I said, for specifically Solana and XRP, I'm more concerned with those than Litecoin, because those the futures went live, as mentioned, over the past few months. So let's see what happens, folks. And here, Nate Geraci of the ETF store weighed in, saying, "Noteworthy to see SEC might be expediting approval of spot Solana ETFs and staking in ETH and SOL ETFs in response to recent Rex Osprey end around." So the other big factor is the staking. As I've been saying for a long time, when they add staking to the ETH ETF, you're going to see inflows skyrocket, folks, because the yield will be there. A lot of institutional investors, they value having that return, right? That passive income. So that's going to be a strong incentive for ETH because it has that yield. And we'll see if the SEC approves that this summer as well, along with these other spot ETFs. Now, Nate Geraci also highlighted the following from Blockworks, that Blockworks is reporting that the SEC has asked prospective spot Solana ETF issuers to submit amended S1s within the next week. One source estimated these updates could put SOL ETFs on track for approval within 3 to 5 weeks. Said the SEC also appears open to including staking. Now, this is per sources, right? So we don't know if they will actually do this, but I think they may do it sooner than later, versus waiting till Q4. But who knows? We're just speculating at this point. But as mentioned, the respective factors are there, the futures markets are there. So there's no reason for the SEC to not approve these. Or if they deny it, right, they're going to get a lawsuit like Gary Gensler did and they're going to lose in court. Now, I don't think they're going to do that because this SEC is operating very different from scumbag regulator Gary Gensler. So, folks, could be really nice to have the Solana and XRP ETFs approved, even the basket ETFs and staking added to ETH ETFs come this summer. That could really help the price to rally for these assets as we maybe hit a local top or below top. We'll have to wait and see. But exciting times, folks. Let's see what happens as we roll into July. Now, a great place you can buy XRP, Solana, Bitcoin, and all the top altcoins is on Uphold. This is a platform I've been using since 2018. They have 300 plus cryptocurrencies. They have staking for over 19 crypto assets. And folks, they are safe and reliable. I've never had any issues or problems. They are 100% reserved. They don't commingle or lend out your crypto funds. And you can review their transparency report. It's there for you to go take a look at. They have a lot of different features and services. And one I really like is Uphold Rewards, where you can earn up to 5.25% on stable coins. And they don't do anything shady. They do it the right way. You're earning the actual yield. And part of this rewards program, if you participate, you get 24-hour early access to tokens that they list. So the stable coins they support includes Ripple's RLUSD, you can earn up to 5% there, and USDC, where you can earn up to 5.25% there. And to participate, you simply have to log into the app once per month, deposit $50 once per month, and trade $50 once per month. So pretty simple. So if you'd like to learn more about the services that Uphold offers, check out the link in the description. Now, folks, Wall Street giant Franklin Templeton, they have launched intraday yield for tokenized assets on Benji. Benji is their tokenized platform, and many of you have seen my interviews with Sandy Call of Franklin Templeton. They have trillions of dollars of assets under management. They are going all in on blockchain and crypto, just like BlackRock and Fidelity. So it's amazing to see these legacy firms participating in crypto and continuing to build and innovate. So Franklin Templeton, an investment management company with $1.53 trillion of assets under management, has debuted a feature that offers investors yield down to the second when holding tokenized assets. According to a Tuesday announcement, the intraday yield feature will allow investors to accrue yield proportional to the time they hold a tokenized security, even if it's transferred before the day's end. In addition, investors can earn yield on non-banking days, including holidays and weekends. Folks, I've been beating the drum about this for years. Truly global markets, no more opening or closing bell, no holidays and all these things, right? 24/7 trading, 365 days a year. So this is incredible. And of course, it's all running on blockchain. So even if you don't participate with the tokenized security, if you hold the native token of the blockchain they're building on, you are able to participate and capture value and returns based on the adoption. So really incredible stuff. I love what they're doing, and this is the future. They're going to put everything on the blockchain and create new financial products, better financial products than exist today in the traditional markets. So really bullish news here. And folks, today, Congress, specifically the House, they met to mark up the Clarity Act, which is, of course, the crypto market structure bill. It's a new version of the FIT 21 that was passed in the House last year. And Congressman French Hill, who I've had on the podcast many times, and I hope to have him back on soon, he said today the Financial House Committee and the House Agriculture GOP are marking up our Clarity Act, which gives us the market framework that will make America the leader in crypto development and distributed ledger financial services. So the good news is that the Clarity Act passed out of the House Agricultural GOP with a vote of 47-6 following a nearly 3-hour markup. So it then moved to the House Financial Services Committee. And with regards to the agriculture GOP, 18 agriculture Democrats voted in favor of the text today, with 6 voting against it. So we have bipartisan support. As I've been saying, folks, this is the future, and many Democrats are on board, especially that Elizabeth Warren and Gary Gensler are out of the way. one of the things that was holding back many Democrats in last year, even before the election, is Elizabeth Warren was sitting at the top of the hill when it comes to financial services. They couldn't come out against her. I spoke to many Democrat members of Congress, and that's what they told me off the record. So it's good to see many are now free to operate without it being an awkward situation because of Elizabeth Warren. Now, the challenge, folks, is that in the House Financial Services Committee, it's going to be a bit more tough. Congressman Bill Huizenga, who I've had on the podcast in the past, he said there's a lot of personalities here. Eleanor Terrett reported on this because Maxine Waters, she's a part of that. And, she's going to try to do something. Apparently, she introduced the First Amendment to the Clarity Act titled Stop Trump in Crypto Act. So politics are going to play out here. And look, I'm not a fan of Donald Trump's meme coin. I'm okay with his kids participating in crypto businesses. That's fine. But I don't think they should hold up legislation which protects consumers and fosters innovation because of that. I think they need to get these things through to make sure the industry can flourish. And look, if they want to play the politics and go after Trump after the fact, go for it, right? I don't have a problem with that. That's politics. It's none of my business, honestly. They can fight all day, right? But get the damn bill through. That's what we need. It's important. It will allow more capital to come into market and, like I said, protect consumers. So things are moving ahead. Also, it's possible the stablecoin bill, the Genius Act, could get passed in the Senate this week. So let's keep an eye out for that. That would be just huge for the market. This is interesting. Congressman William Timmons, he said, I just sent a letter to SEC Chair Paul Atkins requesting documents on the SEC's inconsistent treatment of ETH under Chair Gensler and the Biden administration. The American people and the crypto community deserve transparency as Congress moves forward with the Clarity Act. I'm not sure what they're trying to do here. I don't know if this is kind of trying to get the SEC to clarify things that happened since even Jay Clayton and Bill Hinman, and then which continued under Gensler. It's kind of strange. I'm actually surprised they're bringing this up specifically for Ethereum, but it could be because of what Bill Hinman did. They're trying to kind of fix that retroactively. I don't know, right? But we'll have to wait and see. This is very interesting. I thought this whole thing was put to bed, but I guess not. Well, let's see what they come up with. I don't know what this is about, honestly. Now, we got some interesting news coming out from World Liberty Financial. Eric Trump tweeted out the following, where it shows that USD1, which is the stablecoin of World Liberty Financial, daily trading volume has surpassed $800 million, overtaking DAI to become the third most traded stablecoin after USDT and USDC. Very interesting. So it's on the rise. It's not very close to USDC because USDC is at 6 billion and USDT is at 77 billion. So clearly Tether still the king of the hill, still has that massive market mover advantage, the dominance. It's insane. Now, I do believe USDC will catch up as Circle is gone public with stablecoin legislation on the cusp of passing. It will allow Circle to do more to compete. So let's see how this plays out. But it's interesting that USD1 is on the rise here. Now, folks, final news item here. Michael Saylor was interviewed by Bloomberg, and these are signs of not the top, but like the top is approaching, because he was asked about Bitcoin and he says the bear market is not coming back. Bitcoin is not going to zero. It's going to $1 million. Okay. Saying the bear market is not coming back, I think, is a big fat lie. And look, he's kind of in the position where now he has to pump his bags. Look, a lot of people do it, right? They talk their bags, but to say a bear market is not coming back, I think is a bit ridiculous. We know all of these assets move with the macro. And if you look at what happened in 2022, just as an example, as Jerome Powell came in December 2021 and said, we're raising rates, quantitative tightening is starting. What happened to all assets, stock markets and everything? They all went down, right? So we've been following how Bitcoin moves with global liquidity. So if liquidity starts coming out of the market again, because it's a cyclical thing, it's going to drop. And I believe there's a higher probability of there being a bear market than there not being one. On one hand, I respect Saylor, but I don't like when he does stuff like this. And I remember in previous cycles in 2020, he was saying, mortgage your house, sell your house to buy Bitcoin. And that's ridiculous. You saying that stuff to people and you're going to get them hurt. So now he's saying bear market is not coming back. Yeah, good luck with that. Markets, history has shown us bear markets come back, doesn't matter what it is. So some people weighed in who I'm a fan of, like Toby Cunningham of Crypto Tips YouTube channel. He says, my goodness, people are going to get absolutely slaughtered this coming bear market listening to this guy. Jason Pizzino, who has a great channel, does amazing chart analysis. He says Saylor can't possibly believe there will never be another bear market again. He's now paid to say that. He's compromised. Interesting take. But like I said, I think this is disingenuous, but he's out there pumping his bag. He's trying to bring in retail. So what you're going to see, folks, as we're going to get into the next major rally, Bitcoin, $10 million, right? All these ridiculous price points. Watch out. That's to bring in the dumb money crowd. But we're not on the dumb money crowd side. We're on the smart money side. We've loaded up at the lows, bought the blood on the streets, and we're going to sell the euphoria, the greed zone. So have that profit taking plan. So I'm issuing the warning here. This is a prime example of what you're going to start to see. Don't fall for it. Do not get caught up in it. You can watch it. You can, make sure you listen, because it's important to listen and hear what people have to say. But validate all these things with the chart, the macro, the on-chain data, and I tried to provide you guys with that, right? And things that signal the top, sentiment, and grandmas and Uber drivers start to get so bullish, right? It's like, oh my God, did you see this? Did you buy this, right? That's the time you want to be looking to take profits. So folks, just be prepared, be mentally prepared, have that profit-taking plan. Folks, that's the news. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. A great way you can support me in the podcast is by subscribing to my free email newsletter. It's 100% free. Link will be in the description. Check out my book on Amazon. It's available in paperback and digital. And my course at mycryptocourse.com. This is a comprehensive course that teaches you every aspect of crypto. It's packed with tons of value. So check it out. All the links will be in the description. Thank you, folks, for watching and listening. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.